Set aside all the freshwater lakes in the world, North America's Great Lakes, Africa's vast Tanganyika, even the largest lakes of Europe. None of them hold as much freshwater as Lake Baikal. In Russia's Siberia, where icy winds sweep through and the surface freezes with 2 meters of ice in winter, this lake alone holds 1/5 of all the world's unfrozen freshwater. And even more interesting, scientists don't see Baikal merely as a lake, but as the water bank of the future. But Baikal is not just a reservoir. It is a living being 25 million years old. Yes, living. Because Baikal, with over 1,000 plant species and about 2,500 animal species, many of which are found nowhere else, is of unique value for evolutionary science. This ancient lake preserves in its layers a record of millions of years of climate and ecosystem changes on Earth, like a natural laboratory. And for Russia, Baikal is not only a natural wonder, but also a strategic geopolitical asset, with China making very serious plans involving it. The most striking feature of Baikal is its depth, 1,642 meters, making it the deepest lake in the world. But what does this number mean? Think of nearly 5 Eiffel Towers stacked on top of each other, or 4 Empire State Buildings. Or take the Burj Khalifa and double it. That's Baikal's depth. This immense depth creates a hidden world at the bottom of the lake. The pressure is so high that ordinary creatures cannot survive. Yet Baikal's residents have adapted. Divers tell stories of entering the water and being swallowed by an endless blue void. But how did this depth come into existence? The story of Lake Baikal goes back 25 to 30 million years. During the Miocene epoch, a rift opened in the Eurasian continent. As 2 tectonic plates slowly drifted apart, the Great Baikal Rift Zone formed a widening valley. The current basin of the lake is the result of this rifting process. The rift is still active, expanding 3 to 5 millimeters per year, and millions of years from now, it could become an inland sea or even an ocean. This tectonic structure continuously brings mineral flows into the depths of the lake, helping keep the water clean. Baikal is almost the only lake in the world that offers an uninterrupted geological record, making it possible to trace history from the ancestors of dinosaurs to the dawn of civilization. Around 80% of Baikal's species are found nowhere else. Why? Isolation and age. Over millions of years, species adapted, turning the lake into something like a baby ocean. Among the endemic groups are amphipods, over 350 species, snails, 117 endemic, ostracods, 200 endemic, and unique sponges. The Lubomyrskidae sponge family forms forests at the lakebed, making up 44% of the benthic biomass. Fish are fewer than 65 species, but half are endemic. The amalfish is nicknamed the bread of Baikal, highly valued and delicious. The golomyanka is a transparent fatty fish that gives birth to live young, the deepest living freshwater fish in the world. And the star of Baikal, the Baikal seal, also called nerpa, the only freshwater seal in the world. Small, big-eyed, and endearing. Scientists still don't fully understand how it ended up here. On the shores roam brown bears, Siberian tigers, and snow leopards. More than 320 bird species nest around the lake, some of them rare. The surrounding taiga forest, twice the size of the Amazon, is filled with cedars, pines, and medicinal plants like thyme and bearberry. This diversity keeps the ecosystem in balance and makes Baikal comparable to the layered rings of Saturn in the solar system, an aquarium of complexity. Baikal's water is so pure and rich in oxygen that even calcium carbonate doesn't precipitate, allowing life to thrive even at its depths. In winter, visibility in the water can reach 30 to 40 meters. This enormous body of water moderates the local climate. Even in the Siberian cold, winters by the lake are only around -20 degrees Celsius, while summers average 10 to 12 degrees Celsius. In winter, the lake freezes completely. The ice can be 2 meters thick. In February and March, giant cracks appear on the surface. The water that seeps through instantly freezes, forming towering ice ridges meters high. This is paradise for photographers and adventurers. Russia even opens official ice roads across the lake in winter. Trucks, cars, and even motorcycles travel over it. Baikal brings life not only as a water source, but also as a hub of tourism and economy. Once attracting only a few thousand visitors, in recent years the number has reached 3 to 4 million. A striking share of these visitors comes from China's middle class. Local communities benefited economically, with hotels, restaurants, and cultural activities flourishing. Indigenous Buryat people, showcase their traditional crafts and rituals to visitors. Baikal is also a center for scientific research. Institutes around the lake study climate change through sediments, and deep drilling projects have revealed a 6.7 million-year climate record, showing cycles of ice ages, floods, and droughts. These studies attract both Russian and international organizations. The ecosystem of Baikal and the human communities around it are tightly interconnected. The indigenous Buryats have considered the lake sacred for thousands of years. Even today, sacred poles like flags and shamanic rituals honor Baikal. For local villages, the water is vital for drinking, irrigation, fishing, and small industries. But this immense reservoir is under threat from human pressure. During the Soviet era, the lake's waters were severely polluted. In the 1960s, the Baikal pulp and paper mill was built on its shores, dumping waste directly into the lake for decades. Scientists and activists protested, leading to a decree in 1971 to limit pollution. The plant was finally shut down in 2013 under pressure from environmentalists, but traces of contamination still remain. Today, urbanization and mass tourism bring new problems. Due to poor infrastructure, untreated wastewater from resorts flows directly into the lake. Since the 2010s, algal blooms have been recorded, threatening biodiversity. In some areas, the water has become so polluted that swimming is now forbidden, whereas it was once drinkable. To protect its unique nature, international warnings have been issued. UNESCO listed Baikal as a World Heritage Site and raised alarms about threats to its integrity. In 2006, a planned oil pipeline along the lake's shoreline was rerouted after UNESCO's intervention. In the 2010s, China's rising water demand brought Baikal into the spotlight again. In 2019, a Chinese company attempted to build a bottled water plant on the shore, sparking huge protests by locals and Russian environmentalists under the slogan, "Don't sell Baikal." The project was cancelled. According to the United Nations, China is one of 13 countries facing chronic freshwater shortages. Most of its water lies in the south, while the north, including regions like Gansu and Lanzhou, suffers from drought and overuse. In this equation, Baikal appeared as a tempting solution. Specifically, a pipeline project was proposed to transfer water from Baikal to Lanzhou, in the arid Gansu region of northwest China, a distance of 1,000 to 2,000 kilometers. In 2017, Chinese city planners presented this as part of their Vision 2030. But the challenge is immense. Baikal lies at 456 meters elevation, while Lanzhou sits at nearly 1,500 meters, meaning the water would have to be pumped across vast vertical distances. Some reports even suggested a project extending 2,000 to 3,000 kilometers. Such a mega project could save Chinese agriculture, supply cities, and relieve the water crisis. But Russia immediately dismissed the idea as fantasy. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov called it unrealistic both economically and ecologically. After the cancellation of the 2019 bottling project, some reports suggested that China's thirst could still create tensions with Russia. China has pursued water cooperation agreements, similar to its pipeline deals for gas, but Russia resists, backed by environmental groups and local communities. Even in 2022, calls to protect Baikal continued, and some Chinese-backed hydroelectric projects were suspended. As of 2025, speculation still circulates, but no official agreement exists. Russia sees Baikal as untouchable. In the future, water will become a strategic power. Lake Baikal is viewed as a potential answer to the global water crisis, but at the same time, it is an extremely fragile ecosystem. Russia could use its water wealth to gain advantage by addressing regional shortages, but it has no choice but to preserve Baikal's uniqueness. Share your thoughts about this with us, and don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video.